Hi, I'm Tim. Welcome to our channel and thanks for logging on. If you enjoy these videos, do me a favor and subscribe to our YouTube channel right here at Watchbox Reviews. I would really appreciate it, and I promise to update daily. And if you love this watch, you can see it and you can purchase it on our website, thewatchbox.com. Today we're discussing a 500-piece limited edition from the 2009 model year. This is the Blancpain 50 Fathoms 500 Fathoms. Technically part of the 50 Fathoms family, we're just going to call this one the 500 as its 100 bar water resistance and its 48mm titanium case put it in a different class than the standard reference 5015. This is the 515, 50015, and as you can see, it is an impressive presence. Though easy to wear, in titanium it's surprisingly light on the wrist. It measures imposing and substantial 17.2 millimeters thick, but from lug to lug it's fairly reasonable as its 53.3 millimeter span is exactly the same as what you'll find on a 44mm Panerai Luminor. So though it's a 48, it wears like a 44mm Panerai, and that's a good point of reference for a lot of folks who would have experienced one of those watches, but not one of these. The spacing between the horns is impressive, 24mm, so it nicely matches. The horns are wide, as is the case, and the strap is wide, as are the horns. The strap is substantial. It's the sailcloth that you're familiar with from the standard Bathyscaphe and 50 Fathoms. Very substantial, almost indestructible, thickly bolstered. You can see it has a little bit of volume as it approaches the lugs. It's held on with hex key screws and bars, so no spring bars here. This is quite secure on the wrist. And of course you can see the underside is laced with rubber so that the coarse textile material does not aggress or grate against your wrist. You have a deployant clasp that is double deployant. As you can see, it is a double snap with a twin trigger release system, so you must release it positively. It can't simply pop open. You have to press both triggers. For an extra measure of security, there is a fixing screw inside, so the pin within the buckle is fixed by a screw, and the strap is fixed by the clasp. Very tough to accidentally drop this watch. Helium escape valve on the flank of the case. Again, 100 bar, or effectively 10,000 feet. The 500 Fathoms is no joke. In good taste, Blancpain used a vertical satin finish all the way along the lug profiles as well as the case to reduce the amount of glare, as well as what would have been an undoubtedly garish presentation if this were all of high polish. The bezel is all sapphire capped, and you can see everything that appears to be lume on the bezel is in fact, and it's not a flat sapphire like an old IWC Aqua Timer or, for example, a Bremont Supermarine. No, this is a cambered, expensive, vaulted sapphire that looks almost like a circular or toroidal dewdrop on the bezel itself. The action is good. It's sharp, it's audible, it's precise. Have a listen. The lume shot will be epic, I promise you. The dial base is built up in several layers, and you can see the quarter Arabic numerals feature a sort of well-like profile, so there's a stencil over a disc of lume, giving it a little bit of a depth profile comparable to a sandwich dial on a Panerai watch. You'll also appreciate that there is a matte base, and then there are black portions that feature a sunburst graining, so radial graining, giving the dial several different focal planes, materials, textures, and tones. Easy to read. You can see the watch also features a date, so that practical information is present. Blancpain clearly wants this to be the everyday 48mm watch. Screw-down crown, and it is a redoubtable crown with large knurling, so easy to grip even with wet, sweaty, or gloved hands. And then we're going to sort of invert the watch right here, and I'm going to show you the caliber 1315. Now this is exactly what you would get in a standard reference 5015. It is a very handsome movement, but unlike a standard 5015, we have a display case back. You can see individual numbering out of 500, and there is a rotor of white gold that features the image of a marine propeller. You'll note that it's been engine turned on its blades, and there's even a little bit of drilled cavitation. So a handsomely finished propeller style rotor with the weight on one side, and then you can see underneath the caliber 1315, which features three main spring barrels, a 120-hour or 5-day power reserve, a sharp and tough free sprung balance adjusted in 5 positions, beating away at 28,800 vibrations per hour. Now the watch does feature both stop seconds and a quick set date. What I can't overemphasize is that the finishing on this movement is far better than you'll find on, for example, mass-produced Audemars Piguet calibers such as the 3120 or the new 4302. The anglage is rounded, optically smooth and mirrored. You can really see it glowing on the edge of the bridge bridges, and again, it has the look of a hand-finished bevel rather than a machined angle. While the bridges have an unconventional brushed finish, it's refreshing and a welcome change from the orthodox Côte de Genève that's overused industry-wide. All of the screw heads are black polished on their head with chamfered slots and circumference, and wheels, where they're visible, have a handsome satin graining. The base plate does feature engine turning, but if you haven't gotten your fill of engine turning on the propeller, I really can't help you. It is a beautifully and largely hand-finished movement. All of this water resistant down to an unfathomable 500 fathoms. You're getting an awful lot of high horology inside your high-tech extreme dive watch. Now, I'm also going to mention that the watch powered by that 1315 is not just exceptionally shock resistant, but when adjusted by the factory, these easily run 1 second per day, so they're precise as well. See this one and live the dream, larger than life, on the watch box. You can see the fully loomed dial, recessed panels, numerals, hands, including seconds, and bezel. Live the life, larger than life, on the watch box.